Exclusive.
I grew up like a savage. One, two, 1, 2. You now rocking with the No Vultures podcast. You got me, myself, Lord Rab. You got Corn the Barber, who is not here. You got OG Clee, who's on a vacation. Free OG Clee. And then we got some very, 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 very special guests today on No Vultures. Now, these guys, I first, came across what they were doing just by being a, what can I call myself? A restaurateur, right? So, and I'm also heavily embedded into my city in all things Oakland. Anything I see in Oakland, I support. Any people that's doing things in a community, I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that food is a way for people to connect, for people to build relationships, for people to, build bonds forever. And I think these guys, they highlight the culture, highlight what they come from, and do it in an unapologetic way, which I really can appreciate. We got the motherfucking world famous Hot Boys in No Vultures today. Yeah. Now I'm gonna let everybody. Well, first of all, I'm gonna get this shit off the table because they're not paying us. So I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves, man. In no order.
Sure. My name is Michael too, and I go by Boy Worldwide.
Boy Worldwide. Now y'all seen him for sure in the Supreme line.
Actually, when Supreme first opened in San Francisco, do you know I actually went out there to give the very first project. Sorry, but it's funny you say that.
No, you was giving out apes.
How did you know?
I'm everywhere.
Bro. Whoa! What? Whoa! What?
Yeah.
Bro!
Yeah, you just pulled a Nardwuar.
Yeah, I feel like what? Bro! Holy shit!
And in 1995, you
Bro, that's a total. How did you? Okay, yeah. Okay, well,
Wait,
yeah.
so tell us, what were you doing in the Supreme line?
And why were you giving narcotics out to people?
Dude, oh my! I'm sorry. This is crazy. Anyway. So when I first started Boy Worldwide, I worked at a dispensary and I worked with some homies, and honestly it sounds cheesy, but I wanted to give back to the city and I wanted to bring some good vibes. Okay. And I used to live in LA, and I've been to Supreme lines. I know how anxiety inducing it can be. I know how it can get kind of violent. People are trying to get those shoes, people are trying to get the latest drops. People get antsy out there. And so I thought, what's a way, when Supreme comes to San Francisco, now we have a little bit of, some control of the vibe that we create here.
Right.
What can we do? And I wanted to give out free weed, but how can we make that more fun? And so I made these fake Supreme, or I mocked up Supreme certificates, and it said best dressed.
Right.
In line that week.
That was dope.
Thank you.
That was dope. I didn't get my certificate, but that was dope.
Thank you.
It was in the mail, bro.
And yeah, we would just chop up people, meet people, network, and anyone that we genuinely thought was,
Doing their thing.
Yeah, we would write their name, get their IG handle, and say, hey, here's some weed too. We appreciate what you're doing.
That's super dope.
That's so
dope.
That's super dope, man. Shout out to my boy from Frisco, Paperboy. He does a lot of things when it comes to Supreme and Supreme lines. He give out pizza. He fucking.
That's tight.
And somebody else that's from Oakland. I forgot what he did, but Guap Dad. Yeah. I forgot what Guap did, but he either put posters of himself everywhere or he did some crazy shit.
Anything that dude does is the most funniest shit.
Yeah,
he is tight.
Shout out to Ferragamo Falcon, man. What about you guys, man?
Yeah, man. My name's Burke, Burke Visual, and I'm the co-creator and co-owner of Hot Boys, world famous Hot Boys in Oakland. And yeah, I do a bunch of other stuff too, but I think that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. No, we here to talk about all the shit.
I bet.
Yeah. What about you, my man?
My name's Vic. I was born here in Concord. I live out here in Oakland. I'm the operating partner for Hot Boys, so I'm on the ground. I run the restaurant.
The day-to-day shit.
I created the menu, all the recipes. And
so you the one out here, it's safe to say, got all the assholes burning.
Yeah. I take pride in that shit, bro. Hey, when someone comes in and they tell me that the shit wasn't spicy enough, I legit take offense to that.
Yeah, oh shit. Who the fuck said that? Because you tried to warn me, and I was like, man, I eat hot shit. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When you go to restaurants, like, they don't, know, like, I guess either they don't know what hot is or they just, like...
Never experienced.
Yeah, I think some people don't even know how hot stuff can actually get.
Right.
You know, they haven't explored that thing. And I mean, yeah, I told Vic when we first started talking about this whole idea is like, we're not going to be calling ourselves hot boys and not have some shit that is legit hot. And I eat hot food.
Okay.
Like, I'm the one, I think, you know, when we were making the hottest spice levels, like I was the guinea pig.
Okay.
So out here trying them, crying, sweating, like, you know what I mean?
I
So
actually remember that the first time we ever had him try the hot.
Okay.
Or actually, no, it was a level above hot. It was called hella hot. And
Yeah.
we took it off the menu. But
It
like
was
the
too
first
much.
time he ever
People couldn't
tried it,
handle it.
he took a couple bites. He ate like half the sandwich in 10 seconds. And then he like kind of had this like started beating sweat. His face was all red. And I look at him, I'm like, is it hot enough? He goes, like literally like shaking.
That's crazy. So, I mean, how did this all start? I mean, well, before we get to that, right? So the boy worldwide.
Yeah.
You born and raised in Oakland?
I was, and this kind of goes back to my name. I was born in Indiana, then I moved to Wisconsin,
Okay.
then I moved to Singapore,
Okay.
and I moved to Los Angeles.
Is somebody in the military?
No. So
Okay.
so my parents just their jobs open around, and then after from Singapore to LA, that was for school. I went to Loyola Marymount in LA.
Okay.
When I graduated, my first job, I went to.
Wait, so you were a kid in Singapore?
Yeah, I was from first grade to graduated high school.
So you never had no fucking bubble gum?
That's funny you mentioned that. It was basically contraband. It used to be illegal.
That's like weed.
That's
like
yeah.
weed was.
You know, yeah. No, it was very illegal for the longest time
Why?
because they wanted to make Singapore is known for being very clean.
Clean. So
and they
people
didn't want
sticking
people-
shit under the trains,
Yeah.
under the seats, and all that shit. Yeah.
Now, did you know when I was living there, they actually very much like marijuana here. They made it prescription based only. I swear.
Okay.
For halitosis, for bad breath. You had to be prescribed menthol or minty gum. Swear. You had to get it at the pharmacy.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna write you a prescription.
Next
Seriously,
motherfucker
take
walk
this.
up to me with that bad breath. I'm writing a prescription.
Man.
For real. Like,
Crazy.
so, it's not.
Wow.
That's wild as fuck. Right there.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. And so, but how was it there as far as like culture?
Culture was it was tough, and I guess so. I'm in Singapore, right? And
I hate to cut you off again.
no, you're fine.
So you were there during the lashes.
I think they're still doing caning. Yeah, they still do caning.
No, but the famous one, the
Michael
motherfucker
Fay.
with the graffiti.
Yep. I mean, I don't think I was there when it happened, but it definitely was talked about in school.
Oh shit.
When did that happen? I don't even remember when that happened.
He might need to make the front of some more merch.
Yeah.
Everybody forgot about.
That was, I remember that.
He's
That was in my
cars.
lifetime.
I don't know if this is sick, but I don't care. I've been looking for Heaven's Gate Nikes
Oh yeah.
for a good price. I just hope I like win a storage or something like
Yeah.
with some shit. I don't. That's another.
Yo, those.
I've been looking at those too. You're not. I've been looking at those
Okay,
too.
okay,
Just for this,
okay.
it's just interesting. The story behind it is just interesting. I get you.
Yeah. So I mean, what was it for you? So in Singapore, were you at all interested in what was going on in America?
Absolutely. I moved to Singapore and I was actually considered an expat, and I was going to the Singapore American School.
Okay.
And so the Singapore American School, we had this is funny. But right before I got there was a Domino's
Okay.
inside the school in the cafeteria.
A Domino's
Because-
pizza.
A Domino's pizza. They franchised in there.
That's crazy.
Parents complained. It's too unhealthy. I get it. It's Domino's pizza.
Right.
They replaced it with Burger King.
Although, I will say, I did feel a lot healthier in Thailand eating KFC. I don't
it's
know why.
different.
Wow.
Asian
Yeah.
The
fast
shit was
food.
different.
No, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, they like cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. And I don't know what it is with Asian culture or whatever, but They like chicken more than black people. I figured it out.
It's true.
Bro, have you
They
been to
love fucking chicken. The Popeyes in Daly City,
Popping. Popping.
that shit is crazy. They love it.
Rap, have you been to Taiwan?
No, I haven't been to Taiwan.
Have you seen the KFCs in Taiwan?
I've seen the KFC.
5 floors.
Yeah.
5 floors.
But it's just so that enough people can eat there.
Yeah.
Because they just love it.
The one I went to,
That's
it was
crazy.
like registers and
That's crazy.
seating. Then second floor was seating. Third floor was registers and seating. And then so basically it was just restaurants stacked on top of each
Wow,
other.
it's like 3 restaurants just piled on
Fucking
top of each
KFC
other.
mall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So like out there, so were you like into like, so what was the culture for you? Of course, every kid, at least every fucking kid, video games.
Yeah.
Were you into like sports?
I actually grew up as a dancer.
Oh.
Yeah, I was, from age 2 until 22, I danced. I did start with ballet. I did tap, jazz, salsa. I stuck with hip hop afterwards.
I never knew that.
See how the mind works. I just automatically saw you doing fucking breaking. You start saying tap and ballet and shit. I'm like, I gotta come out of my fucking mind. Like, well, I just knew you fucking breakdancing, bro.
Done.
Okay, so you fucking a trained dancer.
I was a trained dancer. I actually was in high school. It's funny. I haven't told you guys any about this, but I was in junior varsity and I did varsity, and I traveled with the dance team in high school to around different countries. Yeah.
Wow, that is fucking amazing.
We're gonna have to Google that.
Yeah.
So who did you like look up to as far as in the dance world?
Jabberwockies, and even though I was in Singapore, I kept up with America's Best Dance Crew,
Okay,
and I think there was I am Me was another big dance crew.
okay.
But yeah, I definitely kept up with the shows that were in the U.S. And actually, every year, whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, I would visit Oakland
Oh.
at least once a year. My grandparents lived in Oakland, Chinatown,
Oh, okay.
and the stop I would get off at is the stop right next to Hot Boys, 12th Street in Oakland. So I came right back to
fucking
home.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's the shit. That's the type of shit I like, man. Like when you got that story and that connection, it's like, you know, you can't make this shit up. You know what I'm saying? It's like it just happened for you. You know what I'm saying? So like, and you went to college where?
Loyola Marymount in LA.
So you went from Singapore to Loyola Marymount.
Yep.
On your own.
Yeah. Well, my sister went there, so I visited.
Oh, okay. So you had somebody there.
Yeah, well, my sister visited and she lived next door, and so
Okay.
yeah, she was there.
Were you like super focused?
No,
No,
absolutely not.
not
No,
at all.
I think I took statistics 3 times. I took human anatomy 2 times.
Did you smoke weed before you left Singapore?
No, I did not. So I smoked weed for the first time when I was 19 in college.
You loved it.
Yeah.
Was it some good?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It's funny. I actually smoked weed only at night for the longest time,
Okay.
and smoking weed during the daytime was a game changer.
Okay.
Just,
All
it
right.
just, I don't know. I just.
Now you from LA.
I grew up in Virginia.
Virginia.
But
You
I
live in LA
I
now.
currently live in LA.
So
yes.
so like we said earlier off camera, you grew up among the likes of the Witherspoons and
Yeah,
Pusha
yeah,
T's and
yeah, exactly.
Pharrells.
I'm from like around where P and I mean like when I was a kid, my homie's dad used to detail like Missy and Timbo's cars, and we'd like try to ride and go with them just to see their houses and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, so even as a young kid, I knew about all of that, Teddy Riley,
Yeah, yeah.
all that kind of stuff, because I was into music young, and my uncle was a DJ. I was already DJ. I think I started DJing around 15, so I
Okay.
was like, you know, hip to the, you know, it's crazy now even thinking back to like the radio programming that I had there because of all of that.
Right.
It's like I didn't realize it at the time, but they didn't play shit like that on the radio everywhere. You know, I was
Right,
hearing,
right.
you know, hip hop and all this stuff that like, you know, just wasn't even getting the airplay in
Right.
other places. And I mean, Norfolk, Virginia is not like a big city,
Yeah, a
but
lot of popular shit.
a lot of shit
College
came
town
from there.
though.
Yeah, you got Norfolk State,
Yeah.
Old Dominion.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a huge. It's ironically, it's hella similar to Oakland.
Yeah, it
'Cause
is.
It's a big port city. It feels very similar.
The cars.
Honestly, yeah, yeah.
Because
exactly.
unlike East Coast places is what give Virginia the down south feel is it's it's still that kind of culture. You know, it's still gold teeth. It's still cars on big rims. A whole bunch of music. You know, because y'all had the car culture too.
Yeah.
And then the music culture too. So like growing up, like, could you tell like when different eras was happening? Like, could you tell when like Teddy Riley was dominating and it was like New Jack Swing?
Yeah.
It was like, so
yeah, well, cause so Pharrell, you know, Pharrell made the beat for what's the Rump Shaker.
Rump Shaker.
That was like his first joint, and
you know, I always knew that wasn't Teddy too.
Right.
I just knew it.
And P was still in high school. Like Teddy like found him and Chad from a talent show.
Right.
And Pharrell was in the drum line, and I went to college on a drumline scholarship, so I was playing drums in the band, and we knew his school they always had the illest drum line, so like we looked up to them. You know, he's a couple years older than me or whatever, but it was like that was like the dudes to beat, and so we were hip to all of that, and like knew that he was getting put on before, you know, like you said. You always knew, but not a lot of people knew that he made that beat.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And, but I was hip to that, and like some older guys. I used to hang out at this. There was like this hip hop store in Virginia Beach, and they sold like graffiti supplies and like stuff like that. And we used to. Before I could even drive, I would just hang out there, and so dudes were getting promo vinyls, and I was like learning about all that stuff, and they'd like give me the ones they didn't want, and so I was just a little punk.
I love where you're going, because I always tell kids now, like, you guys love to replicate what happened already, but you will never get the feeling of busting open a tape or a CD and reading the inside, like reading the fucking shout outs. Like, that was an adventure. Like, if you could go buy your own music,
put the thing on, play it start to finish, and just like flip.
that was
you know, like even the order of
the fact that it made you listen
an
to
album is done.
Man, it's just so much different, man.
It's crazy.
It's so much.
You got
different.
Drake releasing like 30-track albums now because of the streaming counts. It's like,
they,
what happened to a cohesive album? Like, you don't have that experience at all.
Right.
And for me, as a visual artist, we went from a 12-inch piece of art to a cassette and a CD, and now it's a 1-inch thumbnail.
Right.
And people hit me up, oh, how much for an album? I'm like, does it even matter?
Does it
like,
even
do
matter?
you really want to pay me? Because like, who's gonna see it?
Who's gonna see it? And another
like,
thing, and this is me as I also make music. I haven't been doing it lately because I wanted to do more of this to cover the culture and become an old motherfucker and maintain my relevance.
Yeah.
I don't want to be I'm not gray right now. I'm not bald, so I'm cool. I don't have a grandchild, so I'm cool. But you know what I'm saying? I can still hang, right? I still got the coolest fucking sneakers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
that's
so,
for sure.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like I try to maintain my relevance with the culture, but what you were just explaining to me, what you've explained so far, and I'm sure what you are gonna say is like, to me, it's like what Kanye, Don C, Virgil, what they just like highlight what we've already done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being an outlier, being, I can remember like there's actually hip hop clothing, right? We had to make clothing. Like we had to literally make this shit our own. It was like everybody was offended when Tommy Hilfiger said that wasn't his intention, but it wasn't.
Right.
He was trying to do whatever the fuck Ralph Lauren was doing.
Honest.
But what he didn't realize is Ralph Lauren already had the Low Lifes, Ralphie's kids out there in New York. Shit, they were getting beat up for polo. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I love to hear this, and this is why I do this shit. Like I don't money and shit is cool, but for me to live and die, I want to live and die with the culture. I want to live and die with the shit that makes me happy and unapologetically. Yeah. Because we had our culture being attacked by so many people in the 90s. This shit is just degrading. It's this, it's that, it's that. Not saying that, hey, these kids have stories like directors to movies. They just want to get their shit off. They're not actually killing people or they be in jail. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making music, so I just love to hear it. And actually I went to was it MoMA? Is that what it's called in Chicago? The museum, and Virgil had all this shit there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I was just looking at like his old screens from his original prints and shit. Like he had all the screens. He had like the Watch the Throne fucking metal, whatever the fuck that was they made. Like the first shit he ever did with Louis Vuitton. Like just all this shit. And I'm just seeing they had his college thesis in there. It actually was a building that. It was the river, Chicago River, but he made a building that didn't obstruct the view of it, that sat on the river because it was transparent.
Wow.
So you could see, you know what I mean?
You can still see the river.
And so when you think about him, this is why I love this shit, right? Because when you think about him, you think about Off-White comes from Pyrex.
I have those shorts.
which is about cocaine.
Right.
Yep.
And then somebody from ASAP Mob says, well, you got to get a cease and desist on that. Well, what do you put in a Pyrex? Oh, Off-White.
Yeah.
Crack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like all of these people wearing these luxury clothes
Right. High.
representing crack.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy to me. So like all that shit tie in. Like to me, I had to be the first motherfucker down there at Hot Boys. As soon as I saw it, when I saw the shit, like, if it would have passed me by, I'd be like, you lame as fuck. Like, you wasn't even there. That shit was in your city. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't in the loop. So, Concord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Let me grab that light.
You know, I didn't spend too much time as a kid in Concord. By the time I was 12, my parents sent me to military school. I was in all boys military school.
You was a bad motherfucker.
I was just a little bit of a shithead, bro. I would get low grade explosives and stuff.
Okay.
Like, blow shit up around the neighborhood. Stupid shit like forging my parents' signatures on report cards and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, and basically they sent me to a military school down in San Diego called Army and Navy Academy. I was there until I graduated high school, and that shit kind of like warped me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like being without women for 5 years of my adolescence, living on campus, it was like I was actually already in the military. You know, they had me doing PT in the morning, drills and stuff. I was getting, if I fucked up, I got demerits, and then they'd work me. You know what I mean? After I got out of high school, I went to Boulder, CU Boulder in Colorado.
Okay.
And that's where I met Burke. Burke's about 6 years older than me, but he was my roommate while I was in college. So he was like just fresh out of getting kicked out of Virginia.
He was big homie on campus.
Yeah. He had just gotten kicked out of Virginia on some like graffiti stuff.
Okay.
And he like moved to Colorado, and I was, into the same shit he was in. I was making beats, and I was, I was trying to do like the music thing myself. And yeah, I mean, like, now we're here, man. Like, we've been living together on and off for like 10, 15 years almost.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
dope. Did it cost to send you to military school?
Yeah. I mean, it was.
They could have saved a lot of money and just let you hang out with me over here and sell heroin.
Bro, I could.
They could have let you sell heroin with me. We could have sold heroin and crack till you went to California Youth Authority with me, and I was gone for 6 years too. I didn't have no women.
Same problems. Right?
They could have saved a whole lot of
You were
money.
working out too,
I
right?
could tell them, look, we at where we need to
We
be
did,
now.
man.
Look,
It's
I'm
funny,
a
'cause,
journalist. He's running a fucking restaurant. We good, man.
It's funny because we must have had a very similar experience because I was definitely messing with the same stuff you were, man.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, man. But like, I mean, to the topic that you were talking about earlier, it's like, skateboarding, punk music, metal, fucking rap music, all that stuff. Growing up in the Bay Area, that was just like, that's all I listened to. That's all I did. I would skateboard every day. I would smoke weed. I would listen to music with my friends. Trips down to Oakland and Berkeley and on Telegraph, all the way down.
Don't you love being from here?
Yeah, man, it's great.
Because
It's beautiful.
I like
It's
LA,
beautiful.
right? I like LA, but I'm gonna tell you something. I did not understand the Mexican thing at first. I mean, I was in jail with them, and I understood it in there. But my partners is Mexicans. Like, I grew up with they like next door, so I'm like going to eat tacos. They come in to eat fucking gumbo. Like, we fucking partners, right? I got Asian partners. Like, we fucking. But in LA, it was weird. I was like, y'all fucking racist, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck wrong with y'all? Like,
That was a thing. That was a wake up for me too,
Yeah.
because I mean, I got good homies that are black, and I live in a pretty Mexican neighborhood, and like I've had, they were like, nah, we're not comfortable over
Right.
here. And now, You know what I'm
Ain't
saying?
that crazy?
Like, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like, and I feel bad for not being more perceptive to it or whatever. But you know, to me, it's just like everybody's the same and shit. So
it's like
I don't even try to think like that. But I mean, that's a real thing. It's a real issue out there for real.
I understand their heritage. I understand, things have happened. I understand, but like, this is what fucked me up. So I was there the year that they shot at Bubba Gump.
Oh wow!
I was like, Bubba Gump? You don't get a pass? Like, it's Bubba Gump, like, right? But they shot at him, and the word was to shoot at every black dude in a white T-shirt. Whatever happened with the black dude in a white T-shirt, he fucked up. He got a lot of people shot, right? So that's the thing about, I love LA, don't get me wrong, because most of the time I don't see none of that shit. I'm not going, I'm going to Fairfax, I'm going to fucking restaurants, I'm going to the beach. I'm never like really going to, no places like that. But I did get off in East LA and ran in the store to get a blunt, and they came in there like, what the fuck you doing? I was like, I don't know, I just need a blunt. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of blunt, shout out to Tucky Blunt. I just walked in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? From
that
Blunts
bag
and
looks familiar too.
yeah.
How you doing, Tucky? How you doing?
So now, when you guys met in college, y'all stoned.
Yeah.
Y'all married?
Yeah. Nah,
my girl might see this shit.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say something like getting astronomical amounts of pussy. My bad, though. You was in your books. You wasn't doing that. That was him. He was never doing that.
He's a dog.
Yeah. So y'all young kids. Any hustles going on, like, to keep things lit? Or
well, just to be clear, so I was out of school, because like Vic said, I'm a few years older than him, and so what brought me to Colorado actually was, in Virginia, I had started a brand, and we had this like it was like a screen printing shop, but we were also doing art shows there, and then it kind of had this little boutique in the front, and it was a whole thing. I employed a bunch of artists and taught people how to screen print, and it was a dope thing. We were throwing really cool parties, and but the city wasn't vibing with it, and they kept and back to what we were just talking about. One of the main things was they were so freaked out by the fact that I had the white kids, the black kids, and where in Norfolk there's a huge Filipino population.
Okay.
It has to do with the military, and it's another thing that's similar to the Bay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody would come to my shit, and the cops were like, they're up to something. Like, they don't all hang out together normally, and I'm like, yeah, we do. Like, we're all into the same music and art, like. So, anyways, they fucking told me to leave. They told me in a courtroom, they were like, the judge was like, you should move, and I was like, I started to freak out. Like, my name is like from that town, like comes from that. Burke is short for Berkeley, which is like a part of Norfolk. Okay. Which is also another weird similarity to Oakland or like this area, But anyways, they told me to get the hell out of there. I had made some good connections in the music industry, doing merch for people. I was like screen printing people's merch and helping them get shows.
Any of those people we know?
I mean, some dude. The main dude is this guy, Paper Diamond. He's like kind of like an EDM producer, and he did some cool like crossover hip hop stuff too. Okay. He worked with Big Boy from Outkast.
He's like a Marshmello.
Kinda, yeah, but before Marshmello. So on this like weird. He came out making like Dilla type beats. Oh shit! And it like sort of. You ever heard of like Flying Lotus? Yeah. So like that kind of shit morphed in. Flying Lotus bridged that to whatever, and then my dude Paper Diamond, and then Marshmello and Skrillex. Yeah. And some other shit like that, but that's like It
fucked me up because I never used experimental drugs. I don't know if that's a thing.
Hallucinogens?
Club drugs.
The only thing I ever had was mescaline.
That's a powerful one, bro.
It's a very powerful one. I was only 14, and I had a car, and the
What
ground.
did you get mescaline from at the age of 14,
I
bro?
was selling heroin and crack outside.
Don't you have to prepare that shit?
But for some reason we had a line on it. It just came to the hood. Like we don't
That's
know. We
fucking
like, we gonna get this shit.
Right.
In fact, I didn't know that was the name. I thought it was called Mexican lean.
Mexican lean. Yeah, I'll just
No, that's
yeah.
literally how I pronounced it because I was like, oh, nothing else made sense. Like this comes from the
Activiso.
Mexicans.
Yeah, Activiso.
The Mexicans got this, right? So, but a hole came into the ground, the fucking size of a fucking asteroid, and I drove in it, and I woke up, and that's what happened with that. And I never done anything. I have never popped a pill. I have never snorted no powder. No, ever since.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
so I'm happy for everybody else.
Thank you, Mexican.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Mexican Lean.
Thank you, Mexican.
Yeah.
Shout out to
And shout out to
Mexican
Me-
Lean.